Mom wants to defend my sister for stealing from me and wants to send me to military school. This happened when I was 14, about a year or so before my parents divorced. My younger sister was constantly blowing through her allowance, spending it like water, especially on makeup, mall food, video games, and clothes from Hot Topic. Meanwhile, I earned my allowance through chores, mowing lawns, collecting cans around the neighborhood for their 5-cent deposits, and doing odd jobs. I was saving up to buy a scooter to get around town, and over 2 years, I managed to stash about $2,000. But building that money up wasn't easy, mainly because my sister knew all my hiding spots and kept stealing from my stash. Here's a highlight, paraphrased from memory. Me, hey, sis, did you take my money again? Sis, what? Me, no, she'd lie, she'd deny it completely. Me, you're a terrible liar. There's $100 missing from my savings. Sis, leave me alone, I didn't do it, she'd fake cry and run to mom, squealing, Mom, he's picking on me. She stole from my savings again. Mom would snap her fingers, dismissing me, shut up. Can't you see mama's little girl is upset? She said she didn't do it, so she didn't. That's all there is to it. If you don't drop it, I'll ground you. I'd insist, I know she did it, and if she doesn't give the money back, I'll ask Dad for help. Mom, there's no need for that, and you have no proof she took it. Me, yes, I do. I keep a ledger for every dollar. The total 3 days ago was $400. Now only $300. She's stolen from my savings before, and I know she already spent her allowance this month. Yet, you took her shopping yesterday, where did she get that money? Mom paused, scowling. You know what? You're grounded. Go to your room, or I'll get the belt. I could have argued more, but I'd learned in that household, know when to shut up and call Dad. So, I walked to my room, slammed the door, pulled out my old brick Nokia, and dialed my dad at work. He didn't answer, so I left a message. About an hour later, he called back, saying he'd sorted it out. Soon after, I overheard Mom yelling at Dad over the phone in the kitchen, trying to justify her actions. I couldn't catch much, just her claiming she hadn't done anything wrong. But then she yelled, fine, if she really took the money, she can pay it back because she already spent it. Moments later, she burst into my room, furious, I can't believe you ratted me out, you little ingrate. After everything I do for you, you couldn't just let a little money go? Me, so you admit she stole it? Mom, sneering, girls need more money than boys, you should just be giving it to her anyway. Me, that's not just a little money, and I want it back. If someone steals from your purse, you'd want it back too. It's no different if sis steals from me, she's guilty, and you know it. I worked hard for that, and I want it returned. Mom, my baby doesn't have to do anything. She's a princess and deserves to be treated like one. Me, that's not my problem. She can go be a princess somewhere else, away from me and my stuff. Mom, that's if you little, underscore. At that point, I stood tall and looked her in the eyes. I was already as tall as her at 14, and I'd gotten pretty strong from outdoor work. Go ahead and try it, I won't let you because I didn't do anything wrong. She froze for a moment, then let out a loud roar, swinging her arm to knock something off my dresser. She swung too low and hit the dresser instead, which I imagine hurt her. She grabbed her hand, furious, teeth clenched, then spun around and stormed out. I heard her yelling and slamming walls as she stormed down the hall, down the stairs, into the kitchen, to her usual, opening the wine fridge and getting drunk. My sister was watching from her bedroom door, horrified, then bolted back inside her room and slammed the door. Mom was her secret weapon, shielding her from consequences, but that was about to change. A few hours later, Dad came home from work, marched my sister into my room, and made her admit she'd stolen from me. She refused to look at me the entire time she was forced to apologize, initially squeaking, then practically yelling as Dad told her to speak up. He handed me a $100 bill to replace what she took and told her she was grounded for a week. The stolen money would come out of her allowance. She bawled, called Dad terrible, and ran to her room. Mom sat out on the back patio, getting drunk on her favorite wine, ignoring us all. She never apologized, and sometimes acted like the whole thing never happened. Meanwhile, she still gave my sister her next allowance, but this time, it was Mom handing over the cash instead of Dad. A few days later, on Dad's day off, we went to a store, and he bought me a safe to store my money and small valuables. We kept it secret from Mom and my sister. It was set with a 4-digit code, if I remember correctly, 4962. I put all my savings inside and locked it away in the back of my closet. Weeks passed, and one day after mowing a few neighbor lawns, I found my room ransacked. I called Mom. "Did you do this?" I asked. She denied it, of course. "Then, did you?" I pressed. "No," she said. "It could only have been one of you," I argued, pointing out that my room was clean when I left, and no one else had been there. She looked annoyed, but I didn't back down. "Fine. But if you did it, so what? You had it coming for not being nicer to me." She stormed off. I called Dad again, left a message, then confronted my sister in her room. I told her I knew she tore up my room. Before she could answer, I told her she couldn't get to my money anymore. I'd locked it in the safe. She threw a full-on tantrum. Of course, Mom ran to her rescue. But I just repeated that she couldn't access my money anymore and went back to tidying up. She kept screaming from her room for about 20 minutes, but nothing was missing or broken, just scattered around. I cleaned everything, put it back, and felt smug for the first time in a while. But the next day, I found it torn up again, and this time, my window was broken. Turns out, Sis threw the safe out the window because she couldn't open it. I called Dad right away. When both parents arrived home, she finally admitted she'd done it, proud of herself. Mom tried to defend her, saying I shouldn't have gotten the safe in the first place. But Dad chewed her out, explaining he bought the safe because her thefts had become a problem. He also had proof she forged his signature on a credit card application and another document, which could have landed her in serious legal trouble. They quickly went to court. She agreed to most terms, and the judge awarded her the house. Dad didn't want it, and ordered her to pay child support and minimal alimony for 10 years. The alimony mostly covered her allowance. Mom was furious, threatened to fight in court again, but Dad held those forged signatures over her head for years. When I moved out to Dad's new house, my sister stuck her tongue out and smugly told me that Mom called her a princess and the more deserving sibling. That was the reason I was leaving. I just shook my head, said I didn't care, and walked out feeling finally free. My relationship with my sister only worsened from there. She came to visit Dad's house once a week, but we barely spoke. Eventually, we stopped talking altogether. I didn't bother visiting Mom's house either. She'd already made my old room into a home office.